The new OCG ban list is here. Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. We like to take a look at the OCG ban list to kind of get a feeling for what will come to Master Duel, because the same team that works on the OCG, or I should say like the same side of the company, if you don't know, Konami has a Western branch and an Eastern branch. In fact, I think there's like two Western branches, but the point is that like there's a TCG side of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there's an OCG side of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that OCG side is located in Japan, and they also handle Master Duel. So looking at the OCG ban list gives us a general idea as to what we can kind of expect for a Master Duel ban list. So with that in mind, we're going to take a look at what the OCG ban list looks like. Now, looking forward to the future, here is what the breakdown looks like for the current top metagame. Things of note here are Toon. Toon is the breakout deck recently for two reasons. One, because of an FTK, and two, of these cards are busted. Like, obscenely overpowered. However, in regards to the FTK, it is particularly powerful in best of ones because you can just FTK the opponent, and it's just kind of dependent on the die roll. The reason it's not nearly as prevalent outside of best of ones is due to the fact that there's a lot of weaknesses to it, especially in the side deck. You can very easily tech in a whole bunch of cards to stop the FTK, and not being able to do that means that in the best of one, it should be significantly more powerful. However, even with that being said, the FTK is reliant on cards that are currently banned in Master Duel, or just straight up bad, because they are bricks and are hyper inconsistent and just not necessary for Toon. Toon, if we actually look at the two Toon lists that they have provided on Road of the King, we can see that Toon doesn't actually rely on FTKing the opponent. They can side it in, as you see here. This is one of the guys that does the FTK. But the actual game plan is not reliant on this, right? Because you can see here, this particular version of the deck doesn't actually have any of the FTK, at least as far as I can see. So even with the ability to FTK, Toon is still incredibly powerful. But that's kind of the breakout deck. I doubt it's going to receive hits. Other notable decks are Cool Toon. Cool Toon's still at the top, not surprising. Elf Note, which did receive a few more cards than we have in Master Duel, but not a ton. It's mostly just like hits to other metagame contenders. Light and Darkness Ritual, which is actually a pretty interesting deck, and we still don't have. I would be surprised if that received any hits, but I don't know. The OCG hates everything. So there's that. Unchained got some new support, so that's also now playable. Same thing with Witchcrafter, Blitzclick. Branded is still very playable. Malice is still very playable in the OCG. The new Power Patron, the new Sky Striker. For the most part, I expect hits to potentially these top 4 decks. Unlikely hits to Light and Darkness. Notable hits to the Toon FTK variant. So Bish Balkan and potentially the other guy that you like side deck. Those are the two things that I think are likely to happen. FTK hits, and then these top decks. So let's take a look at the ban list. First and foremost, we have new Unlimits. Sprite Blue coming back to 3, finally. Rhinoheart coming back to 3, interesting. Toad back to 3. I believe the OCG has Bahamut Shark banned. I could be wrong. They could just have both. And be like, yeah, that's fine. To be fair, I actually don't think Totally Awesome is that bad of a card, just in general, right? I'm not too big of a fan of unbanning it, because having an additional negate that is easily accessible is a bit of a frustration. However, all things considered, I don't think it's the worst, because very, very few decks have the ability to effectively make this. And I think if Bahamut Shark is banned, I think it's fine, right? I think it's a nice addition to either like Sprite or other such decks that hard make Totally Awesome, which is not a lot. Reincarnations back to 3. Sure, that's fine. I don't think any of these do anything. Like, maybe Rhinoheart's not going to do anything. None of these do anything. Next up, we have a new semi-limitation for Circular. I honestly just don't like this card. I think, yeah, it could go back to 3. Obviously, we've had it at 3 in Master Duel for ages now, but I just am not a fan of Circular-style effects. And specifically with Mathematics Circular, the issue I personally have with it is the fact that it sends for cost. I think cards being able to send a card from the deck to the grave for cost, and oftentimes it not being a cost, is just way too often, right? It's like, yeah, Mathematics Circular, send a Mathematics monster for cost, which means that you can't interact with it. Like, you can't Ash it, or you can't, you know, Valor it, or Impermanent, or any form of interaction there. It just hits the grave. And I think that that is a bit of a problem. That being said, yeah, Mathematics fine. Though, adding more to the Cyber Slop pile is kind of lame. It's fine. It's fine. It really is fine. We have Perfection Hydrodrive Dragon going to 2? Huh? I have no... if this card is linked someone at the end of the damage step, if this card battles for as many monsters, inflict 300 to your opponent for each link monster in your grave, unaffected. I have no idea why this is limited. Is it seeing play and stuff? Maybe seeing playing Toon? I don't think so. Oh yeah, there it is, with the other link 5, and then a few. I have no idea. I don't know what putting it to 2 does. This is an OCG hit of all time. Cool Toon Synchro going to 2. There better be more hits to Cool Toon, because the difference between 3 and 2 does matter, because you can, like, use one on your turn and then search 2. So there's still a lot of use cases for it, but it's also a you can use 2 effect per turn, which means that even at 2, it's still providing pretty much max value. So I don't like this. Should just go to 1. If we're willing to hit it, like, just put it to 1. Solemn Warning. Okay, sure. That's it. Oh, this is semi-limits. Sorry, I got confused there. Norden is getting an errata, which is interesting. I don't know what the new errata is. When this card is special summon, you get a level 4. Special summon its effects are negated. Banish it when it leaves the field. Is that the new errata? What's the new version? Do we know the new version? No idea. All right, great. I have no idea what the new versus old... Oh, here we go. When this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can target a level 4 or lower monster, negate its effects, banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this... Okay, so it's a hard once per turn. Has to be special summoned specifically from the extra deck. I think that's fine. I'm trying to think what this does. I guess, like, you could synchro summon it, or not synchro, fusion summon it in Zodiac with, like, Rapier. So something like this could have actual impact in Master Duel. But we also don't have fusion. What's it called? Fusion. Oh, instant fusion. That's what it's called. Instant fusion. Yeah, it's banned. It's at 1 in both the TCG and the OCG, but it's banned in Master Duel. So we don't really have the ability to summon this in Master Duel. So, sure. Though with the errata, I think it's a-okay. I think the biggest problem that this card had was the ability to recycle it over and over and over again. Specifically in Zodiac is why this card got banned, was because Zodiac was able to draw a whole bunch of cards utilizing substitute fusion, or fusion substitute, and just generate an insane amount of advantage. We have Mind Master as well, going to 1. Which says, with the new errata, sorry, you can pay 800 to special summon a psychic monster, except itself. Except for now, that is removed. Now it can summon itself. Oh, sorry. It tributes itself. And then you can special summon a level 4 or lower psychic monster from the deck in face-up attack position, and it's a hard once. This, again, this was the issue. Putting a hard once per turn. I'm glad Konami understands. Hey, put a hard once per turn on cards. Yeah, this is fine. I actually really like these erratas. There's like one errata I like within Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is erratas just putting once per turns on things. Other than that, I'm not a fan. Because it changes the identity of the card. These are like the only ones that I'm okay with. I still am not too big of a fan of adding the from extra deck requirement on Norden, but it's fine. It still fits the like general idea of Norden, so it's fine. But both of these are fantastic erratas. Solemn Judgment went from 2 to 1. Okay. Rotary from 3 to 1. Fantastic. This card is stupid. Especially, like, just hard drawing it. It provides way too much value. Being able to get an additional normal summon, a look at the opponent's hand, and a search is way too much value. And it also provides the additional levels that are really, really powerful for a cool Toon. So being able to limit the additional level 1 as well is very nice. So all in all, I think this is a great limitation. Yeah, paired with the... Again, this should just go to 1. I don't know why it's at 2. Anyway. Starving Venom's at 1 once again. As it turns out, the guy that can copy effects and burn for a bunch of damage should probably be not at 3. The fact that it's at 3 in Master Duel is still baffling to me, but yeah, just put the card to 1. I think it's fine. Synchro Overtake going from 3 to 1. Again, a hit to cool Toon. Called By going to 0. We did it. Called By is gone. Now, they still have Maxi at 1. So, unless Maxi is also on here, no, actually, this is just a good hit. Let's be honest. And we can see the next one as well. Harpy's Featherstorm. Fantastic. They limited this previously, which was a card that, like, sure, deserves limitation. But yeah, just ban it. I don't know why they limit things prior to banning them. They do that a lot in the OCG. I think it is, like, to say, hey, we could ban this. And I kind of understand as, like, to protect your investment. But, like, it's a card game. It's a game. Right? Like, if they own the product, that's the whole advantage of having the card. I don't know. It's a weird business model idea, because I think if you're buying cards, that should be the incentive, is that, like, you get the cards. But apparently they keep doing this where it's like, oh, we could ban it. Anyway, regardless, not going to get into the semantics of that. Harpy's Featherstorm, good. Called by the Grave, good. Your hand traps should resolve, period. Point blank, period. Your hand traps should resolve. And the fact that hand traps have been, for quite some time, limited by this card has been very frustrating. So, good to see it go. I would like to see Crossout on here as well. Transversor. Why Transversor? What? I guess this makes sense, but I would rather see Bishbalkin. Like, the only reason Bishbalkin is being used is to FTK. Geonator Transversor does have application outside of that, but I guess the same could be said for Geonator Transversor, because, yeah, technically speaking, it's only seeing play in FTKs. Sure, I just think Bishbalkin is the hit here, unless you hit both. Rose Whip, sure. I'm not too beat up about this one way or the other, but you know, you got to make Sky Striker good, so get rid of it. That's it. No Maxi, which is kind of surprising given the fact that Called By is banned. Not necessarily surprising in general, just surprising that we banned Called By, recognized that Called By was a problem, and yet still have yet to ban Maxi. I don't know why that is the case, but okay. It's better, at the very least. Rosewood bans, sure, this should be Bishbalkin, but I also don't mind it being Transversor. Is Bishbalkin being used in something else that, like, makes it interesting? I don't know, maybe. Limitations are fine, especially with the new erratas. I think it's pretty interesting. Cool Toon seems severely nerfed, because the limitation to Overtake, Rotary, and Synchro, I think, does limit the deck in a meaningful capacity without outright killing it. And I think that is pretty nice, right? I think the rotary limitation is probably the most impactful. I still expect it to be playable, right? Because like Fideralis is a house of a card, and you know, Q and the synchro and Cool Toon synchro, and all of them technically get access to rotary, so it's not that difficult to see rotary still. It's just that you won't be able to hard draw it, and now hand traps will actually have more effect, and hand traps are more likely to resolve, so that's nice. The limitations to the counter traps are fine. I think in a best of 3 metagame, limitations to the counter traps I think do matter more, simply due to the fact that you can side deck them. So I'm okay with that. I have no idea what this guy's doing. They just decided to just semi-limit a card. Yeah, I don't know. Truly an OCG hit of all time. And then the unlimits are fine. Toad being unlimited is kind of interesting. Anyway, I would imagine the first comment is they banned Called By before Maxi. Yep. And here's the thing. They should. Called By deserves to be banned, mostly because it stops every hand trap, not just Maxi. And as much as Maxi is a problem and a blight on any metagame that it is a part of, I can understand what it is aiming to do, and it does technically accomplish that task of allowing players to more effectively go second, and now it's going to resolve more, so it's technically going to be more useful as a going second card, and it's going to resolve slightly more, because Called By's banned, Ash is semi-limited, and Droll is at 1, so... But also, it's still the Roach. Why am I going back for the Roach? Yeah, ban the Roach. Anyway, good limitations overall. Some definitely suspect hits, because of course. And I don't think this solves much. Like, now Toon is just obscenely overpowered, right? Like, nothing else can contest Toon. So, I don't know. Tier 0 Toon, here we come. That's my thoughts. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.